Have you ever wondered what really happens when we die? Is it fire or is it light? Is it fear or is it freedom? In today's story, we go deep into the heart of death, not with horror, but with hope. We'll explore a powerful tale told by Rumi, one of the greatest spiritual poets in history, a tale of a tyrant king, a raging fire, and a child who speaks from within the flames. But this isn't just history, it's a mirror showing what happens to the soul at the moment of death and beyond. So sit back and listen closely, because what you're about to hear might change the way you look at life and death forever. A long time ago, in a land ruled by fear, there was a cruel king. He hated people who believed differently, especially the ones who followed the path of Christ and love. But this king didn't just disagree. He wanted to erase them. He built a huge fire like a wall of flames reaching up to the sky, and next to it, he placed an idol. Then he gave the people a deadly choice. Bow to this idol, who will be thrown into the fire. Most of us would be terrified. But something strange happened. The people, many of them weak, scared, simple folk, did something no one expected. They jumped into the fire willingly. Not because they wanted to die, but because they had seen something that the king could not. In one of the most heart-shaking moments of the story, a mother was brought forward. Her baby was in her arms. The king's soldiers snatched the child and threw it into the fire, hoping the mother would break. The mother was about to fall to her knees and give up, when suddenly a voice called out. It was the voice of her child. "Mother, I am not dead. Don't be afraid. This fire is not what you think." Imagine that. Your child speaking from the fire, calm, joyful, alive. The child tells her, "This is not fire, this is light, this is mercy, this is peace." Rumi uses this moment to share a powerful truth. Death is not destruction, it's return. So what was happening here? Why didn't the fire burn them? Because Rumi says, this wasn't just any fire. This fire was made to destroy bodies, but their souls were already free. When someone lives with truth, with love, and with faith in the unseen, then physical death becomes like stepping out of one room into a brighter one. Think about it like this. When a baby is in the womb feels like the whole world is safe, it's warm. But when the baby is born, it cries, it's scared. And yet, outside the womb is light, breath, space, love, air, sky. Earth feels like death to the baby. But it's not death, it's expansion. Rumi says, that's what real death is for the believer. Leaving a dark, small space and entering into the real world. Now back to the king. He watched with shock as people kept walking into the fire and not burning. He couldn't understand. So he shouted at the fire, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you burn these people like you're supposed to?" And the fire replied. It said, "I am still the same fire. I haven't changed. But I don't burn those who walk with God's light." Rumi is teaching us something very deep here. Fire, just like death, isn't always an enemy. Sometimes it's a servant of something higher. In this case, the fire became a gate, a doorway into a world of joy. So what happens at the moment of death, according to Rumi? Let's make it simple. For those who lived with arrogance, greed, cruelty, death is fear. But for those who lived with love, humility, and trust in the Creator, death is light. It's like standing in front of a mirror at sunset. Some people only see the shadows, others see the golden light. And here's the beautiful part. Rumi says the soul doesn't disappear, it returns. It returns to its source like a drop returning to the ocean. It doesn't burn, it expands. It doesn't vanish, it becomes more real. Let me pause here and tell you a true story.
There was a young woman in her 30s. She had cancer. The doctor said she didn't have long.
But every time her family visited, she was smiling. One day, her sister asked her, "How are you not scared?" She said, "Because I feel like the pain is not killing me. It's burning away everything false inside me. And now I feel what's real." In her last days, she spoke of seeing light, of feeling held, of feeling free. She passed away with peace on her face. Her death was like the story Rumi told, walking into the fire but feeling only grace. As the people jumped into the fire one by one, the king's heart began to shake. He had seen something he couldn't explain. He had mocked the name of the Prophet Muhammad before. Now he couldn't even move his lips without guilt. His smile froze on his face. His laughter turned to begging. He begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. Because here's another deep truth from Rumi. When people mock what is sacred, not out of confusion but out of pride, sometimes even the mercy they ignored passes them by. So how can fire, literal or metaphorical, not burn someone? Rumi explains with an amazing metaphor.
Imagine dogs guarding a house. If you're one of the family, the dogs don't attack. But if you're a thief, they chase you.
Fire is like that. It recognizes who belongs to God's house. To the pure-hearted, the fire becomes light. To the arrogant, it becomes punishment. So the question isn't, will fire burn? The question is, who are you when you face it? Rumi also tells us just because something hurts doesn't mean it's evil. Pain can wake us up, it can clean us. Grief, when accepted with love, becomes a doorway to divine mercy. He says, if you cry for God, your tears are like seeds, and from those seeds, paradise grows. Now, something strange happened after the people jumped into the fire. Not just in a physical way, but spiritually. The fire collapsed. Rumi says that fire, which was created from hate, ended up destroying itself. Why? Because it was built from evil intentions. And when evil tries to fight true love and faith, it always loses. That fire had come from the king's cruelty, his jealousy, his ego. It wasn't just burning wood, it was burning with his pride. And when love stepped in, pride collapsed. Think of fire like a test, a mirror. When someone dies, what's inside them becomes clear. Not to others, but to themselves. If someone lived a life of lies, manipulation, and selfishness, death shows it. But if someone lived in truth, kindness, and belief in the unseen, death reveals that too. If your costume was fake, it's taken away. If your light was real, it shines brighter than ever. Imagine death as a curtain falling on a stage. Rumi says what's outside can't fool others, but death reveals the truth inside. He says, this fire is a garden. There are flowers here, trees, peace. One of the most beautiful parts of Rumi's story is what the child says from inside the fire. It looks like fire from outside, but inside, it's full of beauty. This is a lesson for all of us, because what looks scary, death, loss, change, might actually be a doorway to something beautiful. Like Abraham, who was thrown into a fire, but walked into paradise. Like Moses, who faced an ocean, but it opened for him. And like the child in the story, who saw the fire and smiled. Rumi teaches us that we all carry two selves. One that is physical, body, ego, fear. And one that is spiritual, soul, love, light. Death separates the two. The body breaks down, the ego disappears. The soul, it rises. And if the soul has been fed by love, by truth, by connection to God, then it's ready. But if the soul has been ignored, buried under desires and pride, it feels lost. That's why Rumi says breaking an idol is easy, and breaking the ego is the real battle. Let me tell you about another real-life example. There was a man who lost his job, his house, his family, everything he had. He used to be proud, loud, quick to judge. But in his lowest point, when he had nothing left, he found something he never had before. Silence, stillness. And in that silence, he said he felt a light, not outside, but inside. He said, now that I've lost everything I thought mattered, I found what actually matters. Rumi explains a deep secret here. Everything in creation tries to return to its source. When he passed away, people remembered not his success, but his peace. The soul returns to the divine. Fire returns to fire. Light returns to the sun. If you lived a life of burning others, of hatred, of cruelty, your soul will return to that fire. But if you lived a life of mercy, softness, and humility, your soul will be pulled toward light. It's not about reward and punishment like a human judge. It's about natural law, like gravity, like how a seed finds the soul finds its home. Rumi compares life to water trapped in a pot. When that pot breaks, when death comes, the water returns to the ocean. It was never gone, just limited. So when someone dies, we cry, that's natural, because it's going home. But the soul rejoices